Hey, hey, hey. It's been forever. Hello. Happy New Year. I know it's kind of late, but I think it's been since December since I've been on for a live. So it's so exciting to come on here. We're going to be talking about confidence, one of my most favorited subjects because of all the titles that people like to label me as. I definitely enjoy being called confident because it's something that I've worked at for many, many years. If you knew me in my back in the day kind of thing, you would definitely not use that label. So it's been quite a journey for myself. And so whatever I can do to help you build your confidence personally, professionally, and everything in between, that's what we're going to be talking about. So we pretty much can get started right now. If you don't already know who I am, my name is Natasha Nurse. I am a coach. I am a speaker. I'm a content creator. I created Dressing Room over 6 years ago. Essentially, it's a platform, coaching and content that's all about helping women to empower themselves in their personal lives as well as their careers. And like I said earlier, we're going to be talking about confidence. This is a 3-part series that I started a while back, but you know what happens? Life happens. Things get in the way, but I didn't want to not continue the series. 3 parts. First one already done. It's in YouTube, and I'll definitely share the links for all of that. You can definitely check that out. But today, confidence, 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 confidence. So let me show you my PowerPoint, and then I think we can get started. And just so you know, while I'm in the PowerPoint, I'm doing this through StreamYard. Shout out to StreamYard. I think when I'm doing this in PowerPoint, I'm not sure if I'll be able to see the comments as I go along. But if you do have stuff, obviously, I'm going to come back at the end and try to get onto any questions that people submit. All right. So let me get this going, and then we will begin. How to stand out with the 3 C's: confidence, confidence, confidence. All right. So I think it really comes down to the four things that you see in front of you. And again, if you have questions or concerns, make sure that you put that here in the comments so that I can address them. I think there's principles that we need to cover, confidence principles. I think we have to also create our own personal regiment, which is critical because then you don't have to look to others to try to build yourself up when it comes to building your confidence. It's really, what do you need on this journey? Because it's very personal and unique to you. Also, self-awareness, guys. We have to be honest with ourselves. If we're not honest with ourselves, we're really going to struggle with improving our confidence because we have to kind of get really naked and bare with ourselves. And then, of course, like anything else, got to enforce daily practice with this. So, born to be confident. I think one thing that people really struggle with remembering is that everything in life that we deal with, that we have to go through, it's a learned trait or skill, right? Sometimes it does seem like people are born innately with an ability to do X, Y, Z better. Maybe, maybe not. At the end of the day, one thing we all can agree on is that with confidence, we can all work on it and get better and bigger at it for ourselves. So I really like this quote by Sabrina Carpenter: confidence is the most beautiful thing you can possess. Why is that so? Because regardless of your talent, regardless of where you are and who you are and what your background is, when you're confident, it emanates in a room. It attracts opportunity and people to you. And there's no one can take that away from you. This is something that you build or take down yourself, right? No one is doing this to you. So things to remember, I think, with this is just to remember that, like, hey, I'm here. It's up to me to decide how confident I want to be in this world. And whatever I decide, it's going to be up to me and how I play this. Now, why ultimately is confidence important? I always like to focus on the why, because the why is your foundation. The why keeps you moving forward. So with confidence, the why comes down to the following: self-esteem and confidence very much tethered together, right? The more confident you are, the more likely you are going to feel better about yourself. You're going to feel good about who you are and the type of person you're presenting in this world. Next, it's going to affect your career. As someone who has done a lot in my career already, I'm 34 years old, and I can tell you I'm a licensed attorney. I have been a professor for 7 years. I've been a content creator, blogger, video content creator, all that kind of stuff, a speaker for many, many years. I mean, I began public speaking really as a child, and haven't stopped since. And I think a big part of being able to say and all the things that I've done in my life is my confidence in myself to believe that I could do this, because the world will absolutely help feed to you all the things that you can't do. But if you believe in yourself and you're willing to put in the work, you can do anything. Also, depending upon the types of relationships you're looking to form in your personal life, especially, confidence helps, right? A lot of times people struggle with what? With networking, with connecting with others. Why? Because they don't feel worthy, or they don't feel confident enough to walk up to someone and be like, how are you doing? I am that person. I am that chick. And you can be that person as well. But it's really identifying kind of what are your blocks? What are the things standing in the way of you not already doing that? Getting rid of that and keeping it moving. So this is the conversation to be a part of if you are interested in moving forward there. Then, of course, inner peace. I think the more that I personally can attest to the fact that the more that I worked on my own confidence and building my own confidence within myself and for my career, I had a sense of peace, because, you will never be loved and liked by a lot. Most of the times I probably feel the dislike of others more than the like and contentment of others. And, you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with being alone. You have to be okay with not necessarily always having a group of people to cheer you on or even support you. Even the people who are supposed to support you don't. That is definitely the story of my life. And it hurts. It definitely hurts. But at the end of the day, you can't let it stop you. You can't let it stop you from going after your dreams. And you can't let it from bringing down your own confidence. All right. Another really cool quote. I'm big on quotes if you're not already aware of that, but something that I love because we all have wisdom and words that we can share. This is by Robert Stobick. Confidence comes from hours and days and weeks and years of constant work and dedication. So critical, guys. What is he saying here? He's saying that it's not something that you just like wake up and say, oh my God, I'm confident. Absolutely not. This is something that you have to work at constantly forever. Yes, like we take marriage vows. Cool. I want you. I love you. Awesome. Guess what else you're working on? Your confidence. Yay. But it's so worth it because you see the progress and you feel the impact in the different areas of your life. So if you're willing to put in the work, starting with today, right? What have you done to build your confidence for today? This lecture or webinar, whatever you want to call it, would definitely be a big, big step there for you. So let's get into confidence principles. All right. So what are things that I believe are confidence principles? Again, I'm one person. This is my beliefs. These are the principles that I apply not only in my life, but what I would teach for my clients as a coach. And so this is the couple of things I want to talk to. First, I like to think of confidence as a muscle, right? When you are working on improving your wellness and your physical capabilities, there are reps and routines and types of exercises that you do to build your physical body and to build muscles, right? But also same thing with your mental health. If there are things that you need to work on with anxiety or with certain mental health conditions, there's a regimen, there's medication, there's things that you do. So when it comes to kind of personal development, if we think of it contextually as a muscle, then what would you then do? You say, okay, well, what do I need to do to build this, right? So it just gives you a little bit of a framework to think about confidence more concretely for yourself. And you say, okay, if confidence was a muscle, what are the 3 reps that you're going to do today to build it? Right? What are the things that you're going to do to nurture that muscle, to make it feel good, to make it grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger? So that's, I think, the value of looking at confidence as a muscle, because then you'll say, oh, okay, these are the things I need to do to build it. That makes sense to you? We'll keep it moving. I have found personally, and this has been a hard one, I'll give you my context why. You have to be kind to yourself. Why? Because the world can be very mean. People can be very mean. And guess what? You can be extremely mean to yourself. I came from a background where I've talked about this on the platform before, which is the idea that like being good or great was never enough, right? There was always an opportunity to be better, to seek out betterness. And if you didn't, you sucked. And that's just kind of where we stood with that. And I have found that type of behavior and attitude to yourself long-term is not sustainable and it's mentally destructive. It really is. I very much can be put in a puddle of tears because I'm just not being kind enough with myself. I'm not giving myself the grace to feel my feelings, to be okay with not being okay, right? Things like that. So when you're dealing with confidence and we have moments that maybe attack or kind of take nudges at our confidence, we have to give ourselves grace. We have to be kind and then say, okay, I'm not feeling good from that moment, right? I'm not feeling good from what that person said, or I'm not feeling good from this experience. Why? Why am I not feeling good? And, it's okay to not feel good. It's okay to have setbacks, and to have moments of unsureness and insecurity. But the point is, you're on a journey, so you still have to keep moving forward. I think when we have those moments of distress and those moments of attack, we have to understand the why of why did it hurt? Why did it upset me? Why did it make me feel less confident? Why did it make me feel more insecure? What could I do differently if I had to deal with this 6 months from now, 3 days from now, 3 weeks from now, right? And then creating that action plan and moving forward. But we have to be kind with ourselves throughout the process. It makes it so much easier to be honest with yourselves, and it makes it so much easier to be able to move forward faster. Okay. Next, patience is key, guys. For instance, you feel like your confidence is really, really low, then that is something that you're going to work at. This is not going to be a around the clock, churn it around. Okay, I'm so much better now. Right. But okay, well, we have to be patient. If your confidence is at an all-time low, then that journey might be a little bit longer, right, than someone else. And that's okay, because who cares about what other people are doing and feeling? We're talking about you. We're talking about diving deep inside of you and figuring out how you can slowly but surely keep moving forward on this journey for yourself, because this is going to improve your life. It's going to improve the relationships you have. It's going to improve how you see yourself when you wake up, the type of attitude you take with the day, right? But this is all about you. This is not about anyone else. This is a personal development journey with yourself. And you have to give yourself that grace, and you have to be patient with yourself, because it's going to take you however long it takes you. And that's okay. We're not on some time scale. All I would say is, if you personally want to escalate and expedite things, then sure, then there are things you can do, like listening and tuning into this program, working with coaches, reading books, really going on a self-development journey, right? And putting in the work every single day. That's how you move things faster along. But at the end of the day, no one is putting you on a clock. You're not clocking in, clocking out, none of that nonsense. So just give yourself grace, be patient, and also remember why we're doing this. Confidence feels good, y'all, right? Doesn't it feel good to wake up and be like, hello, bad B. I'm looking good. How are you? I'm looking good. You're looking good. It feels good to love yourself. It feels good to want to put yourself in a situation where you're going to succeed. It feels good to have wins on the job. It feels good to have wins in your business, to have wins with your partner, at home, with the kids, right? Winning feels good. And confidence is very much a part of that. The more that you win, the more confident you feel, and the more that you're going to seek out opportunities to win, and you're going to attract opportunities to win, right? So this is a feel good type of journey. And yes, there are moments of uncomfortability. Oh yes, there will be struggles. Oh yes, I cannot prevent that for you, because I too had to struggle, but that hurt. Ooh, that was uncomfortable. But we get past it, because human beings are resilient. We can do and fight through practically anything. So we get past it, and then we get to that next feel-good moment. Yes. Why? Because this is a journey, guys. Remember, this is not a destination. We're not okay, we're taking a train or a bus and we're going from point A to point B. It's a journey. It is the whole map. It is the circle around the town and into the outskirts and into the desert and beyond and into the ocean, right? This is not just point A, point B type of thing. We have to, again, think of how we view our life really impacts the type of life we have, right? So that's why I'm focusing and honing in here on how we're thinking about words, how we're thinking contextually about what we're dealing with, because it's going to make it that much easier for you to put things into practice and application for yourself. Okay. So confidence is a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey. Next, creating your regimen. This is probably my favorite thing to talk about, because it's so unique and different to everyone. And I love it, because what I do to feel confident is going to be very different from what you do to feel confident. And that's totally all right. Why? Because you are you. There's no one else like you on this planet. So you have to have things catered to you, and it can be completely different from anyone else. Even if you had a twin, it could be completely different from that person, right? So what do? I talked about this before. I can't stress it enough. Honesty, guys. You have to get honest. So what do I mean by this? For me, okay, when I think about when I'm trying to create my personal regimen of confidence that I have to do to build my confidence every day, what are things that make me confident? That's what I mean by getting honest. Like, and it could be anything, guys. Like I'm gonna lay out the table. So things that make me feel confident. Music. I love music. It just like moves my soul and spirit. I love to laugh. Comedy. Oh my gosh. Like, anything Monique, Steve Harvey, Tiffany Haddish, Kevin Hart, right? Like things that are completely ridiculous. Yes. I love to laugh. So yes. I also love to like tease like my loved ones or my husband, right? Like just today, just like was getting ready and like love to like just like tease him and you know, and just like hello, that makes me confident, makes me happy, it makes me laugh, right? Like things like that. For you, maybe sexual activity makes you confident. Maybe reading certain books makes you more confident. Maybe traveling, maybe doing different things makes you confident. Whatever makes you confident, like you don't have to list it here and share it with the world. Again, that's your personal journey. That's your personal list of like daily regimen things that you need to do. But whatever it is, be honest enough with yourself to identify what it is and keep it moving and then be able to apply that, right? Also, don't be shy, right? Like, so for some things, it's hard for me. Like, I definitely can be like a 7-year-old. And like, if we're talking about things like sexy time and stuff like that, I'm like, oh my God. Ironically, I'm pregnant, right? Be like, okay, Josh, you know what's up. But nonetheless, talking about it is still quite hard. It makes me, I didn't have a lot of experience talking about it. And so it's just like, oh God, okay. But you know, you got to embrace who you are, man. Like for instance, like erotica. Oh God, I love erotica. It makes me like blush like a crazy person, but I love it. And does it make me feel more confident? Absolutely. It'll make me be like, oh, okay, what's this about? I got to try what that's about, right? Like things like that, right? So there's different forms of confidence, right? Are we talking about confidence for yourself, just like as a person? Are we talking about confidence in the bedroom? Are we talking about confidence in the workplace, right? There's different shades of it that we're applying and making our lives holistically better. But you got to embrace every part of it. So whatever your list of items are, create that. If you've never done that today, do that today. That could be like your confidence thing that you do for today. And look at that and identify, that's interesting. Like maybe for you, you love you get more confident if you put on spandex and stare at yourself in the mirror. Like whatever your thing is, do you, boo. Like that's what this is about. Okay. Also, it's really important to continuously consume things that feeds your confidence. Why? Because there's a lot of media and ads and like exposure that we have that totally destroy and decimate our confidence. So for instance, as a plus size woman, and as a Black woman, it broke my heart growing up in Lower East Side Manhattan, never really seeing people that look like me, never really seeing Caribbean people, never seeing people with big booties or big butt, like boobs like me, like never seeing myself, right? And it was hard. It was hard for me to feel confident in how I looked because I never saw myself. I don't even look like my mother, for instance, because, she's like different looking. She's shorter, light skinned, right? Like, and just different hair and just different than me. So my own person who made me didn't reflect myself. So it was hard to feel good about how I looked if I never saw that, right? And because then what did I do? I made that deduction that like, well, if there's no one out there, then I guess I'm not beautiful, right? Like, or I guess I'm not, desirable, things like that. Human beings have a horrible habit of internalizing and making a bad habit of saying just because you're so unique or you're unique and you don't see yourself that automatically that's bad. No, that automatically means you're dope, that you're fly AF, right? Like you're Miss Thing, get ahead, like, right? But I didn't do that. It took me like time to learn to flip the script and to flip that narrative instead of saying, I'm not seeing this. That means a good thing as opposed to saying, oh, well, that means it's bad. No, it means it's a good thing. It means you're unique. It means you are fly AF. That's what that means. Another really good thing for your daily and personal regimen is to never stop learning, and not just generally about confidence, but specifically about you, right? So like, for instance, I mentioned earlier that I'm pregnant. So like I have to learn to look at my body, and as it gets, my belly gets bigger, my boobs get bigger, my butt gets bigger, all these things are getting bigger. I have to still see the beauty and the wondrousness of who I am physically, right? Like that's just one aspect of confidence I'm talking about, right? And you have to learn to never stop learning about yourself and learning about ways that make you feel confident, because what makes you feel confident at 35 is different than what you felt at 25. And it's very different at what you felt at 15. And it's going to be very different from 55 or 65 or 75, right? Like different age groups, different seasons in our lives, different things. So you have to constantly be learning yourself. Why? Because the number one relationship that you need to nurture in this world is the relationship with yourself, right? We have our partners, we have our friends, we have our loved ones. Cool, they're awesome. How about you, boo? How are you loving and getting to know you? You. All right. If you take anything from this, think confidence, me, uniqueness that makes me feel good. What is that? If you can't answer that, then you're not in touch with yourself enough. And that's okay, because today you can make the change. All right. Another thing that people can help, and again, this is not from a point of comparison of like, oh, I got to look at what other people are doing to know what I need to do. Nope. But we need to identify confidence warriors, because what they're doing or what they're saying can help feed your own confidence words that you say to yourself, or the things that you do that you feel good about. So for instance, I love Beyonce. Yes. Queen Bee, who doesn't, right? Because I feel like when I think about her and what the things that she said and the content that she puts out, I feel like she walks into a room and she knows who she is, right? And is her life perfect? No. Does she probably feel good about herself every single moment of the day? Probably not. It's a really hard thing to achieve for any human being. But overwhelmingly, I think she feels badass more than not. And I think that she puts that out in the words that she speaks to herself, the words that she speaks to her family, her children with, also her fans, her followers, how she dresses, how she shows up for herself in the world. It's remarkable, because there's a lot of pressure and there's constant eyesight on her, right? That's very challenging to be in public eye and to still always have to show up for yourself in a way that's like, okay, I got to feel good and also, inspire the people who follow me and love me. It's a lot of pressure, but she shows up and she does it like a boss. And I love that about her, right? So she, for me, would be a confidence warrior. Another confidence warrior that I had growing up was Maya Angelou. And through her confidence of the type of quality of work she put out in this world. I love being a content creator because I was influenced by a lot of content creators. So people like her, right? The things that she shared in this world will live on well past, her existence, right? She's gone. She's no longer with us, but I still think about her pretty much every day. And, the insight and the wisdom that she had makes me more confident as a woman, makes me more confident as a Black woman, as a Black writer, as a Black content creator, right? So like, those are people that I can point to that, make me feel more confident because of the quality of work and the things that they put out in this world. So I ask you, who are the confidence warriors that you admire and why? What are they doing to help feed your confidence? And again, if you can't answer that question, got to dive deep then. You got to look deeper and say, okay. What do I mean? Now, this last point, this is something I talk about pretty much in every talk that I do. And that's because of the world we live in, guys. I mean, the distractions, right? The distractions from television to negative people, family members. I've had to block folks in my life recently because they kind of talk crap. Everyone, once you're pregnant, right? You hear everything and anything about advice and things you should do and things you shouldn't do. I'm not here for that. I'm here to protect and to make my child feel loved and thriving in every moment of the day. And if you can't be a part of that, you can F off. And that's exactly how I feel about that. And I'm not changing that stance when my kid is on the inside and when they, thank God, hopefully will come out and be here in life. I am going to be that mom, that ferociously intent mom on making my kid not hopefully recreate the mistakes or the things that I did in my life, and making sure that they focus on happiness and wellness for themselves. And who gives a F about what anyone else is thinking or doing or saying about that? Because they can't live your life. They're not paying your bills. They're not doing for you the way that you need to do for you. So Get out of here. Get out of here, guys. Eliminate the distractions, whether it is magazines or blogs or the friend who always has something negative to say to you. Get out. Don't care. Goodbye. Sorry, not sorry. Like enough of the nonsense. It's 2021. We're already dealing with a pandemic. You tell me you have to deal with negative people. I'm not for it. What are you suggesting? What are you suggesting? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So especially if you're struggling, especially with COVID-19, how many of us have gained weight? How many of us have lost people or things in our lives that we no longer had? We have to live our life a whole new, different way. That absolutely can attack your confidence. That absolutely could attack multiple aspects of how you're living and the type of life you have. If you're working on building things up for yourself, cut out the distractions immediately. Next, build self-awareness. I love this because like me and my hubby talk about this all the time. People really struggle with self-awareness. They really struggle with being real with themselves. What do I mean by that? There are people in this world who will say, oh, like for instance, oh, I'm not a smoker, but they smoke a cigarette every day. Get out of here. Get out of here. Are you crazy? Like, keep it 100. And I know that it's scary to say, Tosh, okay, you're asking people to be honest all the time. Yes, I'm asking for honesty all the time because it's such an easier way to live, And especially on a confidence journey, guys, if you can't be real with you, who the heck are you going to be real with? Like, none of this. So remember with self-awareness, no one knows you better than you, right? I can't come up in your life and tell you how you love to do things and what is important to you. I can't. You know that. Even if you don't want to identify it, you know it. But you are in the best position to identify what's best for you. You have got to kind of be in the pilot seat to decide where this journey is going, not anyone else. Also, why? The why of confidence for you is going to be different for me, right? So I'll share my why. I need confidence because it helps me be a better speaker. It helps me be a better coach. It helps me be a better wife, a better mother to be. It helps me be a better person in this world. If I can feel confident when I'm speaking, when I'm teaching, when I'm sharing, when I'm helping, then I know that I can have a greater impact, right? So that's my why of why I need confidence. But why do you need to be confident? Why exactly are you looking to be confident more, for relationships? Are you looking to attract a mate and you feel like, hey, I'm not confident and I feel like people are missing me by, they're swiping left when they should be swiping right or whatever the scenario is. I'm getting old, guys. So I don't know the lingo there, but whatever the scenario is there, right? Like, why do you need to be confident? Because it's going to be different for every single person. And so you have to understand your why. And again, no one can tell you that other than you. Now, also with self-awareness, you have to see the bigger picture, right? So yes, you can identify the why, but like 5 years from now, if you're more confident, what's your life look like? What are you doing? What are you wearing? Where are you going? Who's in your life? What does your life look like? Always be a visionary in your own life and be able to picture what's happening down the road if you've done the work, if you've put in the time to do what you need to do. If you can do that, then you can work towards that dream, right? You can make that dream a reality, but you first have to be very strategic and very crystal clear on what that dream looks like. All right. And then keep moving forward, guys. There's going to be stumbles. There's going to be blocks. There's going to be days or weeks even of struggle, straight struggle. I will tell you during this pregnancy, it has been so many moments of struggling for myself. Still got to get up, still got to wake up 4 o'clock. Cool. Got to do my thing. Got to be there. Got to make sure the dog is fed, all those things, right? Like life goes on. So even when we're having a bad day, we still have to find a way to get through it. We still have to find a way to get through that struggle. So even with the confidence, say you were like doing really well, something happened this week or today, you just feel out of it. That's okay, boo. That's okay. But what are we going to do so tomorrow is a better day? What are we going to do so the next hour is a better hour, right? We have to keep moving forward. So being a problem solver, I think, is critical. I have too many conversations with people who love to tell me all the problems and the hiccups that they see and refuse to lay out a goddamn solution. And it pisses me off. It really does. It really pisses me off because my whole thing is, sure, anyone can sit out here and talk about all the problems and the risks that they see. Cool, whatever. What are you doing to solve them? If you have nothing to say about solutions, please don't come to me with your problems. Like, because if you want to work together on finding the solution, cool. But I cannot stand this idea of just like regurgitating problems and issues in life. That is not going to make you happier, nor is it going to make this world a better place. Keep it moving. Enough. You see, I'm intense, guys. So that's just kind of how I roll here. So if you're like, what would be coaching like with me? Here you go. Super intense, and a lot of information coming at you, but a lot of good stuff. I hope you're like, I appreciate this chick. She's crazy, but I like it. Like I'm digging it, man. Daily practice. Not a lot to say here. Pretty much, you know what the deal is. All the previous things I was talking about, that's what you put into practice. So I ask you pretty much to think about with daily practice. Okay, you created your regiment. You've identified your confidence warriors. You've kind of pulled out things like, okay, cool. Fashion has to be a part of my daily confidence that I do. Okay, music has to be a part of it. Cool. Talking to my BFF. Journaling. Whatever the things you're going to do to make you feel confident. Then I say, hey, are you going to commit to it? Right? Because it's super cool to talk about something like, for instance, New Year's happened. How many of us have dropped New Year's resolutions? Right? Most people do. Like the overwhelming majority of people who set New Year's resolutions fail at it. Okay, so what are you going to do that's going to make you commit to this confidence journey for yourself? What are you going to do? It's simple. You got to answer the question. And then also, I love this as a coach because I say, hey, who's holding you accountable? Right? Because if you don't have an accountability partner, whether that's a coach, whether that's a mentor, whether that's a friend, partner, whatever, how are you, when you stumble, how are you going to make sure that you keep moving forward? That's what I ask. So commitment, how are you committing? Why are you committing? And who's going to hold you accountable for this journey? Things to think about there. Now, some last minute strategy tips here, just because we're kind of winding down the program. And I just wanted to just kind of keep this in the back of your pocket as you're going through all this information. And again, if you need to rewatch this video, it's going to be, the live will be here. And then also this will be available on YouTube. So you definitely can check out the YouTube channel and go to dressroommate.com and you'll get that. Believe in yourself, guys. If you refuse to believe in yourself, you can never expect anyone else to believe in you. Ever. Do you understand? Like 100%. Confidence starts from within, right? It's not other people who imbue that on you. It is you who emanate it out, from inward out. So you've got to believe in yourself, which makes it a much easier pill to swallow for others to believe in you. But it doesn't work the opposite way. Okay. Next. Please, please, please remember, this is about you, focusing on what you need to do to feel confident, what you need to do to commit to this journey, what you need to do to be accountable to yourself for this journey. It is not what your mother thinks. It is not what your father thinks. It is not what your boo or your partner thinks. It is not what your kid thinks. It is not what your best friend thinks. Who cares what they think? And I know that's harsh to say, but I really would love to see 2021 be the year where people go inward and say, you know what? This is about me, boo. Like I'm working on me. That is it. I don't care what other people think. And I don't care what other people say, because guess what? They're not living my life. I've got to live my life. So if you can kind of get really radical with yourself on this, you can be a confident star. You can come out of this at the end of this year being so much further ahead than where you are today. All right. So just get real insular on you. What do you need to do? And remember, confidence is never optional. This is never optional, because this is not something where you're like, oh, okay, maybe I'll think about it. Or, I don't have to, it's a purse that I can bring. Are you crazy? No. No, every day you got to wake up with a form of confidence. You got to have a form of belief in yourself. You've got to put your best foot forward, and you have to show up for you, because you don't deserve anything less than that, of complete 100% confidence in yourself, in your abilities, in the life you're living, and what you want to do. And if there's anything you want to change, do it confidently, but do not detract from the confidence that you have, because things aren't, perfect. I've definitely heard that. Like, it's hard to be confident because I have this. Okay. It's just, so what? So if that issue doesn't go away for 10 years, you're going to not be confident. Like, that's nonsense. Confidence all day, every day, keep it moving. And that's it. And it's the ultimate game changer, right? When you're confident, you can do anything. You can do anything. You can build a business. You can write a book. You can tour the world. You can be whoever and whatever you want to be in this world. But you have to understand that confidence is going to play a big role here on that. So with that, that's pretty much it. If you have questions, Dressingroom, the number 8.com is the website. My email, natasha@dressingroom8.com. It's my phone number. Hit me up, guys. Hit me up. If you go to the website, dressingroom8.com, you can schedule a free coaching session. I think it behooves of you, if this is something that really has kind of moved you and said, hey, you know, I really want to talk about this. I really want to get into what I need to do for 2021. I'm your girl. This is where we're at with it. So with that, let me see any comments that I missed. Sometimes it doesn't show up, but that's okay, because I can come back. I'm here for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed the program. I hope you enjoyed my PowerPoint. I designed that just for you. It's really fun. I love designing. Low-key should have been a graphic designer. Low-key. And with that, again, I just want to encourage you to just think about some of the questions I asked today. Be really, really honest with yourself and to just enjoy this process. It's remarkable and it's so much fun, and it gets more fun the faster along you go along the journey. All right. So it's been a blast. With that, I'm going to say bye. It's not the end. You'll definitely see me again for another program, but go to dressingroom8.com. Definitely. Let me put this on the bottom here so that you can see. You can subscribe to the blog and the monthly newsletter at dressingroom8.com. Put out content every month. Have a monthly newsletter. Not a lot of not a lot of emails to clog up your system. So, you know, if you want some tidbits of advice, if you want some updates, that's where to get it. And of course, programs like this, of course. Okay. So you'll find this on YouTube. You'll find this on Facebook. This is also on Periscope. And it's been a blast. It's been a pleasure. If you have any follow-up questions after watching this, put them in the comments here. I can see that. And then also definitely go to dressingroom8.com and schedule a session to chat with me. I adore you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. You are a rock star. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye.